We go down there, it says, look up there, every single top of my tree. So they're trying to prevent tree monitoring.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good thing.
But he thought I was like, why would I climb up 15 feet on a tree? Yeah.
I enjoyed learning about things, but I did not enjoy so Victoria had her brother. So I think she's in the 7th grade. I think she's in the 8th grade.
math?
Yeah,
I get my makeup done.
They left somebody. We did a school bond. We got together. Because I was presiding officer.
I think it is meeting with
And we got together with an ad for a school bond. And she did a horrible message on her Instagram machine. That's Victoria and Muslim. I wonder about, they're going to kill me. And I don't come there. And people are like that.
They are.
Even TSA has a signing security that says people put up with bad behavior. And you should, we really should. And lots of people have bad behavior.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I laugh
And it's
I have to believe
I don't have anybody that runs for office very great.
Maybe you don't have to look it on.
People attack you all the time.
You don't know who's the list. Are you gonna eat?
I'm probably am. So I brought this. I got this, and I want you to see who's. You'll know why I brought it. Oh, it's an insider.
I really voted the ranch on that. Oh man, that's a lot. Really
something interesting over there?
I guess it's just part of my decision.
What's one over 5?
No. Yeah.
One way to win. You guys did your last one? It's the highest it's ever been when there's over 15 million for the prize.
I know, I get $10 every once in a while worth of tickets. It's 21, but you?
So what they do is they have.
Good afternoon, Fairbanks. Wow, that's loud. And might I say, upon our first snow, Merry Christmas to everyone. Nope, not getting your attention yet. Now I feel like, have a Merry Christmas, everybody. It's snowing out there. Welcome to today's City Candidate Forum presented by Denali State Bank. Thank you, Denali State Bank. We're going to clap now. And also just want to welcome you. This is the first business luncheon that we've had at our first forum that we've had at 8-Star Event Center. So it's a nice little change of pace. And I don't know about you, but I drove to the Westmark first before I came over here. So, my name is Angie Talent. I am the board chair for the Greater Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce. So we have a lot to get through today in 90 minutes, so we're going to just jump right on in and get started. But before we go any further, I wanted to invite Pastor Derek to the stage. There he is, to lead us in invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this time together. We're grateful for the great relationships here at the Chamber. Lord, we do lift up these candidates. We just pray that they would have great wisdom. We thank you for their willingness to put themselves out there and through the challenges of a campaign. We just ask your blessing on them. We ask all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Join me for the pledge. We have the screen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Derek. I want to recognize our executive partners whose logos are proudly displayed on the screens on the side of me and the banners around the stage. These members go above and beyond with their financial support, allowing us to fulfill our mission, which is so important to this community. So let's show a round of appreciation, or let's show our appreciation with a round of applause. I also want to take a moment to thank the Chamber staff and our Government Relations Committee members and all the volunteers who are helping to put all these forums together this year. Aside from the candidates who will be on stage, I want to take a moment to recognize the elected officials and candidates for office who are already here today. So Donald had everybody sign in, so I'll just read them off. You can stand up and wave. Will staff. Nice outfit, Will. Sue's Sprinkle. Sue's over there. Thank you, Sue. Lonnie Marnie. Hi there. John Ringstad. There you are. We have Maxine Dybert. And Jeannie Olson. I didn't say your name and your elected official. Will you please stand up? And Donald, we've got one. He has a microphone. It's kind of hard to see up here. It's a new situation.
I'm actually here.
Yay!
Crystal Tidwell, Fairbanks City Council.
Hey, Crystal.
They only do it at school board.
Mindy O'Neill, Fairbanks North Shore Borough Assembly.
That's David Cruz, everyone.
David Cruz, Mayor of Fairbanks. Thank you.
Donald? Way back there.
Sam Spencer, running for school board.
I think we got it.
I feel like we're good. We're going to work on our sign-in sheets for politicians. So today's moderator is president of GEM Company and chair of the UA Foundation Board of Directors. She is actively involved in the Associated General Contractors of Alaska and the Fairbanks Chamber's Government Relations Committee. So please help me in welcoming Meg Nordell, today's moderator.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Angie, and thank you for everyone for inviting me to be here today. I would like to thank all of the candidates for the city mayor and city council races for joining us today, so I would ask them to come forward to the stage. Local government is the level of government that affects us all the most on a daily basis. You can go ahead and come on while I'm talking. And we thank you for your willingness to serve in public office. I encourage everyone to engage with these candidates to learn more about them, their philosophy, and their vision for our community at any time between now and election day. So please join me in welcoming I'll begin with our mayoral candidates. Far end, Mayor David Cruz, and current Borough Assemblywoman mayoral candidate Mindy O'Neill. To my left, your right, City Council candidate Sue Sprinkle. You'll see we have a seat for Hannah Eckluck. Unfortunately, she just notified us that she's unable to attend due to an illness in her family. So we wish her all the best and hope that you all will have other opportunities to connect with her. In addition, City Council seat D, Crystal Tidwell, was introduced. She does not have an opponent in this election, so typically the chamber does not include those unopposed candidates in a forum. So again, please introduce yourself to her, get to know her. So to our candidates, thank you very much for joining us. The Fairbanks Chamber is a nonpartisan organization proud to be a leading voice advocating for our community by supporting business prosperity in the interior. Our goal today is to help you, the audience, make an informed decision as you vote on Election Day, October 7th, or any time through early voting, which started yesterday and runs through October 2nd. So I'd like to quickly review our format. Throughout this forum, candidates will be asked a series of questions. The candidates will also have an opportunity to ask their opponent a question of their choosing. And finally, as our time allows, we'll take as many questions from the audience as possible. To those of you in the audience, if you have a question, please fill out one of the question cards that are on your table, hold it up, and one of our volunteers or staff will collect those from you. If you're seated in the listening section, question cards are available at the front entrance. Raise your hand, we'll get one to you. Before we turn our attention to our candidates, I would ask the audience to respect our candidates and the chamber by refraining from any responses throughout, other than your applause at the conclusion of our event. This allows us to maximize the time to hear from our candidates on crucial issues facing our community. So now to our candidates. There's a countdown timer right in front of us on the screen. This will indicate how much time you will have remaining for each question. Once your time is expired, your microphone will be muted and you will conclude your answer. As I ask each question, I will indicate who will answer first. I will inform you of the time limit for providing an answer, which will be, in general, 60 seconds. So with that, we will get started. I'll get myself a little more situated here. So we are going to begin with a 60-second response to our opening question, beginning with City Mayoral candidate Mindy O'Neill. What is your motivation to run to represent the city of Fairbanks in public office?
Thank you. When was the last time Fairbanks had a full-time mayor? Imagine if we had somebody who spent their days and nights working for the people of Fairbanks. I've done that on the Borough Assembly, and I've done that as a leader of a housing organization. I've negotiated labor contracts. I've managed people. I've run meetings. I've worked labor. I know what it takes to run a city. I have a career in public service, most recently leading the Borough Assembly, as well as building them. If elected mayor, this wouldn't be a part-time position for me. This would be a full-time dedication of public service that includes representation for everyone. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, Mayor Cruz, same question?
Certainly. You know, I was born and raised in this town, and I love this town. And when you decide to run for public office, you do it from your heart. This is the best town in the world. I've worked hard, had many wins, many successes over the last 3 years. So now you look at yourself and say, re-election time. Will I bring the same energy the next 3 years as my first 3 years? And yes, I will. You know, when I was mayor, I was in my office every morning at 7:15. My first stop was always the CFO of our city of government, make sure the finances were right. I did not waste a day. If reelected, I will not waste a day. That is my personality, hard work, success, because I work well with our city council, and it's a wonderful relationship. It is that one government in the interior of Alaska that we have that. Thank you.
Thank you. And now to Sprinkle, I'll ask you the same question. What is your motivation to run to represent the city of Fairbanks in public office? 60 seconds.
Having moved here 20 some years ago, I lived in big cities, Philly, DC, Atlanta. I saw big cities doing all the heavy lifting. No one could change much. So when I moved here, I learned that you could make a difference. Oh, wow, we could start this program, or hey, we'll meet as people and make a difference to recycling. And I'd never seen anything like that in my life. So I got really into it. I thought, wow, I'm going to join all the groups I can do to make things happen. And this city allows that. It doesn't say, oh, it's already been done. We have a really special magic place here. And having done that for 20 some years, I ran for office, thinking that was the next step. I have taken that step, and I love doing the business of making our city better. So I want more of that.
Thank you. Our next question will be for the mayoral candidates only, starting with Mayor Cruz. You have 90 seconds. As mayor, you are responsible for setting the tone for the city. What is your long-term vision for Fairbanks, and how will you bring the council, staff, and the community together to achieve that?
I started implementing my long-term goal for the city of Fairbanks upon being elected 3 years ago. If you take a look at our whole system, we have more police, more fire department, third ambulance. Every measure that you look at versus 3 years ago, the city of Fairbanks is now better. Our government, our workers, were fully employed except for the police. Before I got there, we had holes in police, fire, ambulance, dispatch, public works. We are fully staffed, except for one person in public works. So if you are a heavy-duty mechanic, please see me after this. I have a job for you. And we also have 6 openings in the police. And I'd like to call out, we have police over here. They're wonderful, they're exceptional. And Teal Soden is our public information officer. We have a great town. Our bones are good. If you look at our snow plowing services, we went from a 1-week cycle to a 4-day cycle. We bought the improvements, we bought the equipment to make it get done, and we do. It's a great town. My vision is being implemented every day at a time for the last 3 years. I want to continue it because I won't waste a day, and I'll work hard. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. O'Neill?
Yeah, it's an important question. It's a question that many businesses that I've talked to downtown have brought up to me. My vision for Fairbanks is a place that has adequate housing. It's affordable. It's built with energy efficient provisions, so we're not spending 30% of our energy on our housing. It's sidewalks and bicycle lanes that don't threaten your life when you ride on them. I know a local business owner who struggled to get outdoor seating outside of their business downtown. What their experience was red tape from the city. It was time after time, paperwork, fees, fines, this and that, go here, go there. That's not the way that we build a city. That's not the way that we treat small businesses who are learning and wanting to build an economy here. My vision for Fairbanks includes everyone. It includes our Native population. It includes our LGBTQ community. It includes our business community. It includes labor. I know that because I've reached out to each one of those organizations, each one of those groups, and I've had personal conversations with them about what they want to see here. And the first thing they want to see is a mayor who shows up. They haven't gotten an invitation to talk from this mayor.
Thank you. Our next question will be for all 3 candidates. We'll start with Ms. Sprinkle. You'll have 60 seconds to respond. The question is, Fairbanks faces competing priorities and limited city resources: economic development, public safety, infrastructure, and housing. How would you prioritize these? And please expand on your rationale. 60 seconds.
Okay, well, I would start right away to say that part of the reason I ran the first time was to see our city come together with regards to safety in housing. We had vacant places, we had blight, we had areas that were being used illegally, and I think that we've worked on getting ordinances to help homeowners to right that ship, make sure that they can help themselves build, rebuild, and with that creates a bigger expanded economic development picture that helps us pay for the police and the fire we need. And if we have a safer neighborhood, we don't need to deploy as many emergency people. So I think it's a cycle. And I'd like to see us do more of that, make sure people living in their homes, older people living in their homes are safe, and that really starts the bedrock of what we want to do.
Thank you. Next, I will move to Ms. O'Neill. Would you like me to repeat the question?
How do you rank the priority of economic development, public safety, infrastructure, and housing? Should I do 1, 2, 3, 4?
However you'd like to answer the question.
Great. Well, public safety just isn't just about more police cars. It's about collaborating with organizations who are already doing the work to build coalitions and to keep neighborhoods strong. I've led organizations that build partnerships to solve big challenges, and I'll do the same as mayor. Building safer streets by working with first responders, nonprofits, and neighborhoods. I've been endorsed by the firefighters. One of the stories that I heard from a recent business downtown is that they don't feel safe opening their brand new business. We don't have police officers from 7 a.m. to noon. They had to secure their own business themselves, at the cost of themselves. Where's the city in that? I think the priority of economic development, public safety, infrastructure, and housing goes back to someone who shows up for the job, collaborates, and includes everyone who's already.
Thank you, Mayor Cruz.
The first and foremost priority for a mayor is public safety. Simple as that. As the mayor, I immediately looked at the police department, worked with them to get retention coming in and stop the outflow of officers. Then we took a look at getting more police officers in with our cross people coming over from different states, giving them a bonus, the largest bonus in the state of Alaska. Once we solidified that, I've also worked with the fire department. We expanded the ambulance department to have a third ambulance that for years was a fight over. I solved it. The fire department has expanded by 25%. We have 3 complete shifts. We also have a community paramedic for the first time in our history. If you look at the city of Fairbanks now versus 3 years ago, the priority is public safety, and we've vastly improved it downtown and throughout Fairbanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our first set of candidate-to-candidate questions, and we will begin with the candidates running for mayor. Mayor Cruz, you can now ask a question of your opponent. You will have 30 seconds to ask the question. Ms. O'Neill will have 60 seconds to respond to your question. If needed, you will have 15 seconds to readdress, and she will have the final 30 seconds to close out the answer. If you don't feel the need to readdress, you can cede your time back to allow for more audience questions at the end. So, 30 seconds is on the clock. You can now ask Ms. O'Neill a question.
Ms. O'Neill, you too have a dog. What is your dog's finest attribute that you believe?
My dog's finest attribute is that he loves walking around downtown, feeling safe. He loves being able to walk on the streets and not be hit by a car. He loves looking at the windows and all of the things, and he wishes that he could buy a new collar. There's open businesses downtown that are lacking in being able to sell that. My dog's greatest attribute is that he is a collaborator, just like his mom.
Mayor Hughes, would you like to ask? 15 seconds.
That was a dog day afternoon answer, but I'm glad you got a good dog, and I'm glad he enjoys the downtown. I'm glad he feels safe for the last few years that he's been down there. Thank you.
Ms. O'Neill, do you have any response? You have 30 seconds.
Yes, Tito is very, he's very upset that he has to start and stop and start and stop and start and stop when he's just trying to walk along the sidewalk. Sometimes he likes the treats that are left there as well from the trash that's on there, but he's been involved and can't wait to walk the streets more with his mayor mom.
Thank you. We'll get back to that in a minute. So there will be other opportunities. Back to our other questions, beginning with Ms. Sprinkle. You will have 60 seconds to respond to this question. How will you balance an ever-increasing cost of goods and services with the need to balance the city budget?
Well, gosh, I think that we've started our budgets in the last 3 years with extra to work with. I've been very lucky to have been given a strong budget. We've been able to build into it the extra people that we need to hire, be it the fire department. We've brought more public works to play. We've done some good capital projects, and I feel like we've really been smart with our money. I'm not unhappy with where we are. And then starting this year, we will start with a different type of budgeting that we will start with the departments giving us what they really need, and then we will build on top of it. It's an experiment. It's called target-based budgeting that has been brought to us by the mayor's administration to say, hey, let's try this. Sorry, that goes fast, by the way. It's really fast.
Okay, next up, Mayor Cruz, same question.
The city of Fairbanks last year took a 3% reduction in revenue, and I produced the largest historical reserve in its history, a $2.6 million budget. For the last 3 years, I've given the highest reserves to the city council in its history, $900,000, then $1.2 million, then $2.6 million. From that $2.6 million reserve, we were able to fund increases in the fire department's wages, the police department's wages, and dispatch wages. And at the same time, I took that and I hired funding for 9 more firefighters. Unheard of when we took a loss of revenue. And I take a look at my opponent and I shake my head. And I don't know if you had a $7.2 or a $9 million deficit from your budget, but in the city of Fairbanks, when we start out with the budget, it at least has to balance. And that might be a little bit different for you, but it's the way the city of Fairbanks is.
Thank you. And Ms. O'Neill, same question. How will you balance the ever-increasing cost of goods and services with the need to balance the city's budget?
Thank you. You know, I've spent my career finding innovative ways to fund projects, but before we talk about creative non-tax funding, let's talk about some wastefulness. How about $1 million on a daycare center that never opened under Mayor Cruz's purview? How about $2 million of firefighter overtime? Because that ambulance that he's very proud of and should be was not staffed. How about $600,000 on bike lanes no one even knew about? That's not budgeting, that's burning money. I'll plan responsibly and transparently so taxpayers know what they're getting every time.
Thank you. Our next question, Ms. O'Neill is going to start a 60-second response. In keeping with the budget theme, do you believe the taxation in the city of Fairbanks is too high, about right, or too low? Choose one and explain your answer.
I'm a property tax owner, or property taxpayer, and what I see from myself and from individuals that I meet in the community is that we're struggling to run government efficiently while only having taxpayer dollars to fund it, only having property taxes to fund it. I think what we need to do is incentivize more building so we have more housing inside the city of Fairbanks. That helps with that. We need to grow the pie. We need to grow what revenues are coming into the city. Whether or not we increase services or right-size services, we need to have enough revenue to meet the needs of our community.
Thank you. And Ms. Sprinkle, your turn. Same question.
I think we do a pretty good job with our taxes. We are not crazy with our monies. I lived in other places. We're pretty lucky. I don't love that it's always on property tax owners. That's something I can't change. But I will say that our city is very, very lucky to have a PFD that helps feed the government that we have. We are very lucky for that. And that was very smart decades ago that we set that up. Right now we're working on alternative tax, non-tax expansion that would be helpful for the city itself without actual tax dollars. Things like a lottery, things like expansion of our, I've just lost my mind. I know that we are working on things that are not going to be out of pocket from a wallet, and I am very happy that we at least look at them, talk about them. I think that we're a smart, nimble government right now.
Thank you. So now we are to another round of candidate questions. Ms. O'Neill's turn to ask Mayor Pruse a question. As a reminder, she has 30 seconds to ask the question. He has 60 seconds to respond. She will have 15 seconds to redress, and he will close with another 30 seconds. So, Ms. O'Neill, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mayor Pruse. The city spent $1 million on a daycare that never opened, $2 million on firefighters overtime, and $600,000 on bike lanes nobody knew about. How can the residents of the city trust that you're making unwasteful decisions on their behalf?
Well, first of all, the $2 million of overtime that the firefighters got was because I expanded the fire service to the 3rd ambulance, and then we had to staff it. So when you're staffing 3 ambulances with the same amount of people, they had 2 ambulances on, you get overtime. It's basic economics, Mindy. So what did I do? I hired 9 new firefighters and ambulance drivers. With our last type of hiring process, we got 4 other paramedics. So I invested in Fairbanks' infrastructure to bring down the average cost so we don't have a $2 million overtime budget, keeping the residents of Fairbanks safe with the best ambulance service, the best fire department in the state of Alaska. And I will put this fire department and this ambulance service against everyone. Every ambulance that goes out has a paramedic in it. Every shift, every ambulance has a paramedic in it, and I'm really proud of that. We just hired 4 more.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill. 15 seconds.
If you lead with economic values, what did you think was going to staff a new ambulance? How did you think that was going to work without funding positions that would staff it?
Well, I had my chief of staff go out on a ambulance ride one weekend. He was out there for 24 hours, and he came back and said, "You only have 2 ambulances. We need a 3rd one." I said, "That's it. We're putting in a 3rd ambulance. No more fight. No more fight with the city council. This needs to be done." And I have the personality to get it done that they've been fighting over for 5 years. And that lady right over there helped me a lot. Thank you, Sue Sprinkle. We made the ambulance service in Fairbanks better and safer.
Thank you. As a reminder, there are question cards on your tables or from a staff member. If you have questions, please fill those out, raise them up, and we'll add those to the end of our program as time allows. Our next prepared question, we will start with City Council candidate Ms. Sprinkle. You'll have 60 seconds to respond. As an elected leader, how will you engage with the Fairbanks Chamber and the broader business community to ensure their needs and voices are included in decision-making?
Well, I, at this point, sit on the chamber board as a representative for for the city mayor. So I am in fact physically there to hear and to be part of the conversations. I'm also part of the Government Relations Committee, and I go every Tuesday I possibly can. That makes a long Tuesday morning, Mayor, I've got to tell you. But I am thrilled by it because I think I get to hear from the state, I get to hear local chamber information that I need to share back to the city, so it's a two-way conversation I get to have. Sometimes it's all in my head, but I get to have those really great one-on-ones, and I hope I bring to my chamber the information they need for our city information, and then I hope at the city council, I'm bringing chamber information that is imperative for us to work with, so.
Thank you. Ms. O'Neill, same question.
Thank you. Two of the biggest business and organizations in our city, Doyon and TCC, are Native organizations, and yet City Hall acts as if they don't even exist. These organizations bring jobs, investment, and stability to town. Our small businesses suffered under the Polaris demolition. We closed businesses. Businesses lost money. How many businesses do you know were there 3 years ago that aren't there today? I can list them for you if you'd like, I have them. Every storefront downtown is a missed opportunity. A vacant storefront is a missed opportunity. This city has too many, as demonstrated on the front page of the Newsminer today. Mr. Cruz, did you go on this tour?
No, but I okayed it to be
Mr.
done
Cruz,
with.
can we start the clock?
Sorry, I don't.
That's okay.
Okay.
Let's just wait until the clock. There you go. Same question.
This is Fairbanks. Everyone knows everyone. My goodness. I've known this lady here since we hung out in elementary school at a bus stop. And believe me when I tell you, she was the smartest person at that bus stop. We have a very transparent city. We all know each other. I'm probably the most transparent, available, active mayor that you can talk to because I host a radio show 4 days a week, and I've had most of the people in this room on it. So I'm very accessible. TCC, very accessible. We meet with them quarterly. The Fairbanks Native Association, meet with them quarterly. Downtown Fairbanks, Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce. If I don't have the time to be there, I put people like Miss Sprinkle there, Miss Crystal Tidwell there. So they have representation from the city of Fairbanks because I have a very busy schedule with the city of Fairbanks. But I make sure that everyone gets representation from the city of Fairbanks. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll start with you again, Mayor Cruz. You have 60 seconds. What role do you see for a partnership model in stretching the city's resources further? And please give one example.
I would say a partnership model stretching the city's resources is within itself. You know, we have 38% of our revenue coming from taxes on real estate, very low. And so if we're going to stretch our resources, you have to look at other sources of revenue. And we have 84 sources of revenue. And I walked into the finance committee, as Ms. Sprinkle will tell you, and I looked at them and I said, we need to have a 10% growth over the next 3 years, and you can't touch taxes. So when you're looking at partnership for stretching the city's resources, you're looking at revenue, or you're looking at partnerships with Golden Heart Utilities, GVA, things like that, to put in more infrastructure. We've done well with our fire department. We're getting our police department up there. We're doing well with our infrastructure. To stretch our resources further requires more revenue if you want to do that, but it will not be taxed.
Thank you. The next person to answer that question will be Ms. O'Neill.
Thank you. I agree with David that the city of Fairbanks should be collaborating with large economic engines like Doyon and TCC and FNA. I believe that the city should be a partner with nonprofits and labor organizations. I believe that the city should have a holistic approach to how they are dealing with their problems, whether it's coming to the Chamber of Commerce and talking about those small business issues that they're having, whether it's improving public safety by putting more attention onto our streets. The city of Fairbanks has been absent because David Cruz has been on a radio show for 4 days and selling real estate for the other time. Fairbanks needs a full-time mayor who's going to stand up for you. That's me.
Thank you, and Ms. Sprinkle, your opportunity to answer the same question.
I think that right now, I know for a fact, we work well with Explore Fairbanks, and they and our city have put together a very important program, something called the Storefront Improvement Plan. So we stretch dollars by using those shared dollars to jumpstart somebody who needs to do something for the retail, make windows better, paint, put a new awning on. That brings traffic downtown, that brings business downtown. We do very well with fast planning. We've got people who are trying to work together on what will happen at Polaris when it's waiting to be a new structure. What are we doing to energize that open space? Is it good? We've got a hockey rink going to go in just for fun. I think that the dialogue I have with the people on the street is energetic, and at this point, the city is open to all of these great ideas. I've got support from staff, the admin. It's a what can't we do? Let's do it.
Thank you. So, Ms. Sprinkle, we're going to start with you again, and this time you have 90 seconds.
Okay.
Housing affordability and availability are significant concerns in Fairbanks. Would you consider providing financial grants to developers to build new housing or mixed-use buildings in the downtown area, thereby helping to revitalize our community? Or if not, what policies or initiatives would you support to improve housing options in Fairbanks?
Housing is a big thing for me. I really find that we're lacking it. Downtown is sad for the way that some of these buildings have been allowed to fail. As a city council person, I have put together ordinances to help identify blight, identify tax rebates, encourage those to either need help, find help, get help. We've been partnering or talking about a pipeline from our building people who identify a property, who needs the help, to work with a group called Fairbanks Neighborhood Housing, who now has, I'm not sure if it's $2 million or $1 million, who can help support people who need to put a new roof on or get the house bathroom fixed, that then could allow renting for affordable family renting, or maybe grandma needs to stay there. For a little while on my finance committee chair, I was wondering if we couldn't use the public or the permanent fund as a community bank. I don't know that got any traction, but I was just wondering if we couldn't do something with 0% interest as an investment to our own people. I thought that would be a worthy cause, but I'm not giving up on that because it could be something helpful. So yes, I'm all about what can we do as a city to make people stay, live, and be healthy and happy.
Thank you. Ms. O'Neill, the question is, housing affordability and availability are significant concerns in Fairbanks. Would you consider providing financial grants to developers to build new housing or mixed-use buildings in the downtown area, thereby helping to revitalize our community? If not, what policies or initiatives do you support to improve housing options in Fairbanks?
There's one thing about me that I want you to take away, and it's that nothing's off the table. I will always be somebody who listens to what ideas we can bring to somebody who wants to build. I'm a builder. I do that in my job every day. We've been jabbing here a little bit, and the other day, Cruz said, well, the city's maxed out. We don't have anywhere else to build, but look around. We have a lot of spaces to build, and is this the best that we can do? I know that we can do better. I know that we can provide ways to cut red tape with the builders. I've been working with the builders to understand what are their issues. How can we take away the regulations or make them easier to work with the city? And how can we incentivize programs that allow for housing to be built that meets the character of the neighborhood? That means we're not talking about high rises with 50 floors or even 4 floors. We're talking about 4 units at a time. That's how you build affordable housing. It matches the character of the neighborhoods. You take away the red tape, you soften the regulations, and you work with the builders collaboratively.
Mayor Bruce?
I sit on Alaska Housing and Finance Corporation's Board of Directors. I also sit on Fairbanks Neighborhood Housing Services Board of Directors. And the one thing I can't control is Fairbanks North Scarborough is reporting that we have a 12% vacancy factor here in Fairbanks, where we all know that that's not true. So with that, being on the Board of Directors of Alaska Housing Finance Corporation, I've been on it for 3.5 years. In the last 2 years, we have opened a 20-unit senior housing facility on Denali Street, and we're getting ready to open a 40-unit low-income housing development on 22nd Avenue. With Fairbanks Neighborhood Housing Services, we're presently operating 55 units for low-income housing. We're building 12 more units for low-income housing. I'm frontline real estate broker, know the industry very well. Now, what have we done for the city of Fairbanks for anyone who wants to come into the city of Fairbanks and develop and build? We've lessened the tax burden. When you come in, we will give you a certificate where you don't have to pay taxes on this for a specific amount of years on the upgrade. The city of Fairbanks does 1,200 building permits a year. That's an average of 5 every business day. That's unheard of, but that's how good the city of Fairbanks is, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that what we do, and I'm proud of how we do it, and nobody does it better than the city of Fairbanks.
Thank you. Our next question is a 2-part question regarding the Polaris building.
Oh, God.
We're going to begin with Ms. O'Neill. You'll each have 30 seconds to respond to each part of the question. So we'll see about the time. The time is telling us 1 minute. So maybe we'll give you 1 minute per section. So part 1, Ms. O'Neill. You have, looks like 60 seconds. Will you support the city of Fairbanks in making financial contributions to transform the property to a new use? Why or why not?
That's just one answer. I think
this is on the Polaris building?
Okay. No.
And it's Ms. O'Neill.
Yes, sorry, there was, yes.
Yeah, it's, yeah. Will you support the city making financial contributions to transform the space?
I would. I believe that the city should invest in itself. Small businesses welcome visitors to our city and bring activity, but right now, City Hall provides more red tape than assistance. Tearing down the Polaris cost downtown businesses hundreds of thousands of dollars. Make no mistake, people were hurt, businesses closed because of the poor planning of taking down the Polaris. Why have we spent 3 years talking about taking it down and not talking about what we're going to do with it? What I want to do with it is see a place that can be versatile, that can be adaptable, and that can welcome all types of people into downtown.
Mayor Bruce, 60 seconds, same question.
60 seconds? Okay. The Polaris building was taken down in a total of 3 years, and it had been vacant for 20 years. Now, no matter what was going to happen, it was going to take everyone, all collaboration, to bring that building down. We've done it. What goes in next? It will be something of the private sector building something there. We've laid it out where we're putting out the RFP. We've been through 4 work sessions, 2 city council meetings. I would say within 2.5 years, there's going to be a structure up there for downtown Fairbanks. We've had interest. I've had a proposal, but it's public property, so you bring it through the public process. That way it is vetted correctly, and it must make economic sense. There will be no city of Fairbanks subsidizing the property. It must make economic sense on itself. I will not place that burden on a taxpayer ever.
Sprinkle, your turn.
I have been involved with the Polaris property almost 10 years now. It's gone through different entities, different studies, whatnot, but to see it come down has been really, really lovely, and I'm so glad that we have a blank slate. I don't know that we need to put financial money into it right now, because at this point, we've got people interested. The stages are stage A. We get an RFP on the street, and we don't want to mess around with pie in the sky stuff. But we love to see things like mixed use, a third space, living space, maybe a restaurant on the top. I don't know, but it's going to have to come from the developer. And we are asking the developer to be real and with financial information that we can depend on. Meanwhile, as I said earlier, we've got some plans for making the spot right now livable and fun and inviting, so that people will see that this is a viable, important spot of our city.
Thank you. So we're going to start with you on the second part. Again, 60 seconds on the clock. Share your vision for the Polaris space and what you feel the city's role should be in redeveloping that.
Well, at this point, we are making plans to use that open space as a living space, like, you know, everybody could come have is it food truck? Is it sport? Is it a seating area? Are there going to be swings? Is it going to be changeable with fake grass, paint? It's going to be usable, but movable. It's going to be simply done, but engaging. And I think we are going to the city is going to put some money in there, but we're looking for grants. So in the meanwhile, we are planning on using that to be an inviting component of the downtown, bring the energy there to say, hey, developer, look how cool this place is. You would love to be here. Don't miss out on the opportunity. So I'm excited. The more, the better. That's where I'm going to go with that.
Thank you. Mayor Cruz.
I envision a building there that will transform the downtown Fairbanks. It will be the anchor of economic redevelopment downtown Fairbanks. On the first floor, whatever developer puts in there will be great, but I would like to see retail space, storefront, restaurant space, and then in the middle sections, housing, if we can have it one way or another, maybe office space, or a combination thereof. And then on the top floor, another restaurant like the Tiki Cove. Then on top of the Tiki Cove, I'm gonna look at the developer and say, I'm Italian. I want an outdoor garden bocce ball court out here. I want to be 6 stories up playing bocce ball in downtown Fairbanks. Can you do that? And they're going to look at me and say, oh yeah, we can and we will. That's my vision. Something that is usable, wonderful for every Fairbanksan, because we deserve that. We will get that.
And Ms. O'Neill.
Yeah, I think David's answer really exemplifies how he uses his personal position for his own gain. RFPs.
Watching!
Please ask for respect.
RFPs that let's not forget that this is public land, that there are RFPs that have been decided in closed doors that the public has not been invited to. It's great that these two, city council and mayor, have ideas, but they haven't asked the public about this at all. In fact, the only person that has asked the public about it was me when I held an event downtown, when I went door to door to the businesses, and when I invited our local residents around that area to attend. And do you know what happened? David Cruz canceled his private invitation-only meeting and blamed it on another small business. Is that really the mayor we want? Is that really the vision we want? I don't think so.
Thank you. Mayor Cruz, you're next. You have 60 seconds. The question is, what can the city do that it is not already doing to attract new businesses to enhance the accessible base within the city?
Well, I would say that we have to expand specific services. We have a lot of new construction going on right now. You have Odom Corporation putting in a new warehouse. You have at the intersection of Airport Road and South Cushman putting in a new store. you have a lot of new construction going on. So what we have to do is make it so our building department goes in, even though we gave out 1,200 building permits last year, that we do not stop, hurt, or interrupt any construction that goes on that is done correctly under the auspices of increasing the economic development of Fairbanks. That is the one thing that we can do and that we must do. Make it easier for businesses to develop here in Fairbanks.
Ms. O'Neill?
The construction projects that you saw this summer were half of what was allocated to and available for our city to use. There's money that has been left on the table from our federal agencies that said, here, because of your community, because of your planning, here's some funding for this project, here's some funding for this project. And you know what happened? They said, nah, we're good. And do you know what happened after that? People weren't working this summer. They weren't working at twice the amount that they should have been working, building our roads, revitalizing our roads, building sidewalks. Those have been ignored. Those tax-free dollars have been ignored. What do you do to attract businesses? You remove the red tape, you collaborate, you talk with small business owners, and you make it easy for people to participate in building downtown themselves.
Thank you, and Ms. Sprinkle?
I would say that sometimes I see the downtown as it wants to be more walkable. I'd like to see less emphasis on all the big car parks and the parking that we do or don't have on street. I'd love to see Second Avenue be closed for a night or a weekend. Make that something that people would come downtown to gather and enjoy. Street furniture, lights, that would invite family. I think that we are a little behind on that, and I don't know if it's just because things are always done that way or if it's just something weather related, but I would love to see more of our downtown become more attractive to users that are not just driving in, doing a 10-minute grab at a store and then driving away. I think that takes a little bit of thought process on the infrastructure.
Thank you. In our next question, you'll be starting, Ms. Sprinkle. You'll have 60 seconds again. The question: assuming you were queen for the day and faced no challenges, what one measure would you implement immediately upon being elected to office?
God, I wish I had this question earlier. If I was the queen for the day, I would. I've got so many in. Okay, I would start with the riverfront. I think we're neglecting the riverfront. I would love to make that something that we could do with regards to a better boat launch. We could play more along the riverside, or why we don't have restaurants along the riverfront downtown is crazy to me. I would take the parking lot away from the courtyard or the courthouse. That shouldn't be a parking lot. Let's make something from that. Giant tennis courts, pickleball, I don't know, right along Griffin Park. Right, money's no object, I can keep going? Yep. Okay. I would love to see a tram or some sort of way to move people from Pioneer Park to Golden Heart Plaza. Make things active there, make the visitors who live here and the people who live here enjoy that space better.
Thank you. Ms. O'Neill, if you were queen for the day.
If I were queen for the day, I would probably address parking downtown. I think that there are changes that you can do to parking that make it more friendly for pedestrians and for cyclists. And I think making the parking garage free and making on-street parking paid would be a way that I would start that. I would be sure to implement that after public comment and adequate interest with the public, and I think that would improve our walkability and sustainability of downtown.
Thank you. And Mayor Cruz, if you were king for a day.
I'm just going to address this to Teal Soden and Deputy Chief Sweet over there. If I was king for the day, I'd give you 6 more police officers to fill out the ranks. And I appreciate Ms. Silk trying to do that every day. And Deputy Chief Sweet, as I looked at you and Chief Doopy, I said, my only request is every night, everyone comes home. You fulfilled that promise to me. If I was king for the day, for the next 20 years, every police officer would come home. You know, I've gone out on a ride along. And when they put you in a bulletproof vest to get in a car, it changes your perspectives. That is one heck of a group out there. If I was king for the day, more police officers, they all come home safely to protect our fantastic city. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we have about 3 more prepared questions, and then we'll move to audience questions. It's about 1:05, and we're here until 1:30, so we thank you for sticking with us. Ms. O'Neill, you're the first responder to this question. Fairbanks has a long tradition of working across differences to put community before partisanship. In today's polarized climate, how will you foster respectful dialogue, build bipartisan solutions, and ensure progress on key local issues without importing the political divisions seen elsewhere?
Thanks. I think for the last 6 years, we have, since I've been on the Borough Assembly, we have seen the most divisive political environment nationally, even statewide, and sometimes here locally. As a presiding officer for over half of that time, I've managed that. And that's because I work hard to understand different perspectives. I work hard to treat everyone with respect and dignity. I understand that we're all coming to this table in very different life experiences. And I understand that that means that sometimes what you say and how you say it doesn't really jive with what I say and how I say it. But at the end of the day, we're humans, we're Fairbanksans, and this job and being in local government isn't about partisanship, it's about serving Fairbanks, it's about serving this community.
Mayor Cruz.
In my first meeting as a city mayor, I looked at the city council and I said, I'm going to treat you the way I always want to be as a city council member. I'm going to include you in everything I do. That way you see it when I see it. And also, if I don't vote with you tonight, I will certainly vote with you tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll have another issue and we'll get through today's issue and go on to the next one. And with that, the city of Fairbanks, with the mayor and the city council, has had the best working relationship in a governmental body, most likely in the last 30 years in the Fairbanks interior. We are looked at with respect because we get along well, we work well together, we solve issues, and we help each other, and we contribute to everyone's different thoughts and ordinances. We're a very rare government. I'm so proud of being a part of it. I work with fantastic people, and that's what leadership does. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Sprinkle, would you like me to repeat the question?
Oh, no, I've got
You
this.
done? Okay.
I can't say how much I love working with the people I have at my council. It is respectful, we have fun, we have differences, but I never feel like we're shouting down at each other. I feel like the camaraderie helps us get past some of those sticky parts, but we've always got a way to finish out a vote that's mostly 6-0. So it's not because it's an easy vote, but it's because we've thought through, we've discussed, working across the aisle with the air quotes. We don't bring that into the council room. I'm really, really proud of that, and I think that the mayor's right. I've never seen anything like that, and I'm thrilled for it because it is divisive everywhere else. It makes me sad, but I love the people I work with right now on my council, and I think we are an excellent team. So I would say that I think we're in good shape. Thank you.
Thank you. On our next question, we're going to hear from Mayor Cruz first. I think it's a topic that's been mentioned quite a bit, but as a specific question, public safety is consistently ranked a top issue. What is your plan to ensure residents and businesses feel safe in downtown and across the city?
Every day we are recruiting police officers. It's a nationwide issue. We work, and we work. We've actually, over the last 3 years, we've probably taken in 10 to 11 different police officers that have joined our forces from different hiring practices, being retention bonuses, being cross-country bonuses. You work on it every day. And with that, Fairbanks is getting better. We're better than most. We will do better. And it's the only department in the entire city that has not filled the ranks yet. But we're working on it. And I enjoy working with Teal Soden and our police department to make sure that everyone feels safe in the downtown and across the city. And that's why I have foot patrols now in downtown Fairbanks for the first time in 3 years. And at night, hired security to do that.
Thank you.
So we're doing better.
Ms. O'Neill.
Thank you. What this comes down to is planning and leadership. Understanding that we have cops that have not been filled, you have to ask yourself the question, why? Why can't we fill those positions? Why can't we fill our firefighter positions? Why do we have the homelessness population that we're seeing on the street? What you have to do is address the core issue. We don't have enough collaboration with those who are already working in the field. We don't have enough collaboration with people who are spending every day of their lives serving the individuals who are fearful of their lives. And we don't have the people who are standing up for small businesses. The small business downtown do not feel safe. And the fact is, if someone doesn't feel safe, it's not safe. I've heard so many times of people say, I'm not bringing my kids downtown. I'm not walking on the streets downtown. That makes me sad. We know that it's not a dangerous place, but our visitors don't know that. Our friends don't know that who visit us from out of town. One of my friends has an Airbnb downtown.
I think maybe the clock isn't running. I feel like we've passed time. Can you just wrap it up?
I will wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Sorry.
And a response that she got on her Airbnb was that the head was on a swivel. This was from somebody from Boston. That's not our town. We need to do better at public safety.
Okay, and Ms. Sprinkle, you'll have 60 seconds. And I think the clock is on.
Should I walk? Okay. I would just say that police can't really prevent the crime that's happening because we have an issue with housing. We have people who are, we've got mental struggles. We have substance abuse. Those things we're trying to answer with entities like the Crisis Now, which is almost so well known that statewide it's been talked about as a thing to emulate. We've got the ESP, they meet the people in the street with the need to be either taken to a place to sleep off or get help. I helped stand up a group called Hope Link. I don't know if that entity is still got a home right now, but I think that issues of safety are because the people that are in need are really, really struggling and they're growing. So, I think it's financial. I don't know that we can answer that with a magic wand, but it's something that we are trying to do at a social level.
Thank you. Ms. Sprinkle, you're going to start the next question, 60 seconds. Much of Fairbanks' infrastructure, from roads to water systems, is aging. How should the city prioritize infrastructure investments, and how would you pay for that?
Prioritize. Well, I know that we have a great partner in Fast Planning, thank God. They do a lot of help for matching dollars to our city dollars, and the DOT does what they can to bring in the big projects, but they've been dwindling quite a bit. So the city has been doing a lot more of their own. We have a capital fund for that. We have some neighborhoods who really, really need a real revamping. So we have been trying to get federal grants for 3 years at the federal level, and they have not been successful. So the prioritization is that right now we are working with the people who need to be mobile, like we have the sidewalks downtown, we're having those rebuilt and restructured. Pavement is being patched as we can and as quickly as we can do it, but it's not all one way to fix it. We've got a lot of people that help us do what we do.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. O'Neill.
Thanks. Fairbanks can't afford more failed projects like the $600,000 bike lane pilot. We need planning, we need smart planning, and we need real follow through. That's the difference between wasting money and building something that lasts. When I show up, I follow through. When you look at the needs of the city and the infrastructure that's there, we have an opportunity to address address our aging infrastructure. You can do that in many different ways, and you can do that with collaboration and working with those who are already doing the jobs.
Thank you. Mayor Pruse.
In 2025, our capital budget had $3 million going into infrastructure redevelopment and repair. We do it very well. We also work with fast planning, where we get, with a budget of $10 million, and the city of Fairbanks gets about $2 million out of that. Take all that into account. We work so good with the Department of Transportation, State of Alaska. This year alone, they funded the city of Fairbanks an extra $750,000 of their projects for us to design, manage, and construct. That's how good we are. I operate the engineering department like a construction company. My dad was a civil contractor. My brother's a very large civil contractor. That's why the city of Fairbanks has invested in a lot of capital equipment to construct, maintain, and be better for the city of Fairbanks. That's the city of Fairbanks, the engineering department. They're a construction company, and I operate them that way, and I enjoy it.
Thank you. So we have about 5 minutes to talk about audience questions. So I think I'll limit the responses to 30 seconds so we can move through, and I'll just start and move across the stage. So Mayor Pruse, 30 seconds. Can we get 30 seconds on the phone? Or maybe not? We'll just watch ourselves. Would you support, endorse, or oppose a city sales tax?
I would oppose that because at this time we do not need a city sales tax, and I don't believe if I'm reelected we will ever need a city sales tax. We have a great budget, we have a great city council, we know how to operate it without imposing more taxes. We have 82 sources of income, of which 4 of those sources are under the tax cap, and we have 1 that is outside the tax cap. We have 5 taxes we get, we do not need any more. We can do with what we do with what we have.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill.
In the city revenue book, the one that David Pruse wrote, it says one of the most important priorities, one of the biggest challenges in the upcoming years is a lack of revenue. I think we're fooling ourselves if we think that we can continue to not collect other types of fees, taxes. Now, does that mean a sales tax? How about we talk about it? How about we have a discussion about that? But we don't have revenues, and we have a revenue problem.
Thank you, Ms. Sprinkle. 30 seconds.
I wouldn't say yes, we need it right now, but I love, as everybody knows me, I love questions. I love asking these kinds of things. So I would love to look at what that would be offering us.
Okay, next question, 30 seconds. Mayor Pruse, as longstanding public official, can you give an example of how you have governed as a responsible steward of the public's money?
Well, if you look at it, my past 3 years here, I've produced the greatest reserves, financial reserves, in the history of Fairbanks in a row. And I give that budget to the city council, who then takes it and apportions it out. They usually take less than 1% change on all my budgets. Ponder that, less than 1% of a change when I give them a budget. That's exceptional and remarkable, and I'm proud of it.
Thank you. Ms. Sprinkle, can you give an example of how you have governed as a responsible steward of the public's money?
I'll make my mayor sad, but I did not go with the signage on the river. And I think it was just because of the numbers we were surprised by. And I pushed back on that. So I think that in the end, though, we've discovered we have another way to use that space, and it's going to be a lot more exciting. So I'll leave it at that.
She's correct in that.
The last 30-second question. I'll start at this end. Ms. Sprinkle.
Oh, I'm sorry, do I get a chance?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you.
Thanks.
Okay.
I think when we're talking about financial responsibility, you have to think about what is the output for what you put in. So are you funding labor contracts? Yes, I have. Are you supporting organizations or buildings like Mary Saya? Yes, I have. Why? Because the output of that is more meaningful to our community than cutting something that hurts us at the core.
Thank you. Mayor Purvis, did you already answer this question? I'm getting a little confused. You can tell this is not my day job.
You were the smartest
This is
person.
not my day job. Okay, 30 more seconds. Here we go. I'll try to
I want
be better.
results.
While downtown revitalization is important, how will you ensure that areas outside of downtown receive equal attention and resources? 30 seconds.
We're doing that.
No, it's Ms. Sprinkle.
Well, as the downtown, I know is not your focus. It is the engine driver to the city and the money we put in the bank. So I would say that with that money, we can help make the roads better, pay for the sidewalks, make sure the signage is good, and working with the building of the vacant properties or bringing back housing. That also extends the tax base that then again allows us to do more with what we want to do with it, as opposed to having to do.
Ms. O'Neill.
I think housing is the biggest thing that we can do. In Fairbanks, there are lots of areas and lots of lots that could be built on. IRHA is doing that. AHFC is doing that. We have vacant properties that can be used to house and add to our tax base, and we need to just make it easier to build.
Mr. Cruz.
If you look at our blighted property program, we are remarkable. We're cleaning up Fairbanks. We cleaned up 9 different properties this year. If you go down Willow Street in Aurora subdivision, we just got done cleaning up one of the largest blighted properties you can ever do. We make Fairbanks better internally by helping homeowners clean up their property, giving them incentives to clean it up and having it done. And the neighborhoods love it. Look at Willow Street in the next few days and you'll be astounded by what we did.
Thank you. So we've come to our last question. We're going to start with Ms. Sprinkle. She has 90 seconds to answer that question. What are you most concerned about for Fairbanks in the coming years that will need to be addressed during your potential term, and how will you work to address that? Why should voters count on you?
I feel like the people that have put me in office have seen the changes I promised I would make. I was part of the 3rd ambulance. I was part of getting rid of blighted properties. I am trying to engage all the players downtown to make that a livable and workable and exciting place to live. I think that we've got great potential. I think we've got a little dip going on with some of the changeover, and people retire, people sell their business. I think we're seeing generational shifts in some businesses that have been around forever, and I think that we need to make space for the young entrepreneurs, and we're seeing that on places like the Gather, what was Venue. We've seen changes in things like Lichen. I love getting out of the way for people who are ready to say, I'm going to put my money downtown. And that, for me, is something I want to continue to encourage for the next 3 years. I'm so excited to hitch my wagon to a star or be the wagon. I don't know, but I want more of what we're seeing. I think that something's in the air, but I feel like we've helped put some pixie dust out there.
Thank you. Mayor Cruz.
What I'm most concerned about is external governments, State of Alaska, Fairbanks, North Star Borough, that have on the city of Fairbanks. The Fairbanks North Star Borough right now has a $9.9 million deficit one way or another. What are they going to do to cut or to tax to get rid of that deficit? The state of Alaska, every year I worry about the PERS program. Are they going to increase the cost to the city of Fairbanks on that? They're pressing down the cost of the state of Alaska, is pressing down on the local communities more and more costs that they incurred for themselves that are now upon us. That's what I work on with our representatives, our legislature, and our federal contingent. We can take care of the things that are inside of the city of Fairbanks. We've done that. We've done that very well. What scares me are those things that I cannot control. And those are government entities that are not the city of Fairbanks, but they reflect and they influence on the city of Fairbanks. And I try and buffer that every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. O'Neill, 90 seconds.
Thank you. I'm about 2 decades younger than everyone on this stage. And that means I have about 2 more decades to invest in this town. What I'm seeing at the doors and when I talk to my neighbors, when I talk to my friends, when I talk to small business owners, is they're concerned about what's happening here. People are leaving, schools are closing, energy is high, we don't have housing, we can't recruit people. Why is that? Because we lack leadership. We lack people who will say, we have a revenue problem and we need to address it. How are we going to do that as a city? How are we going to do that together so we can bring back jobs, so we can have lower energy costs, so we can have affordable housing, so we can recruit officers that want to stay here and not just get their 5-year bonus? Come on, look around. We have a good thing going, I believe it too, but we don't have the energy that I have. We don't have the energy that I have to leave the city. I've shown that in my experience on the Borough Assembly, I've shown that in my day job, and I've shown that by working side by side with almost every single person in this room, volunteering, celebrating our events, sitting at policy tables. My biggest concern is we're not gonna have the brightest staying here because it's already happening and we need leadership. We need it now.
Thank you very much. So I think we should give all of our candidates a round of applause. Thank you. My script doesn't have any yes, no, and I actually was trying to think of a few yes, no that I could add with, but obviously I need to practice my skills. A special thanks for all of you joining us today to learn more about the candidates seeking to represent us at the city government level. A big shout out and thank you to Denali State Bank for sponsoring these forums and allowing us to have the opportunity to hear from folks. As a reminder, please join next week to hear from candidates running for the Borough Assembly. That would be next Tuesday, September 30, right here at the 8-Star Event Center. Pre-registration for that event is open now, and we would encourage you all to register to attend. Think about joining the staff of the Chamber for Chamber Chat on Friday, September 26th, this Friday, 9 a.m. Again, right back here at the 8-Star Event Center. You can enjoy coffee and pastries while engaging in open conversation with Chamber CEO Donald Burgess. This is an excellent opportunity to share your feedback, ask questions, and learn about ways to get more involved in the Chamber committees and Chamber initiatives. So again, thank you for giving me grace, as this is not my day job, but I admire folks who can do it for a day job. I'll go back to my day job now. Thanks again for coming. It was great seeing you, and thank you for the opportunity. Have a good day.
I want to see her.
It's like the dog, it's like the dog show. It's like 2 against 1. Can you see a third thing?
Life insurance is one of the most important financial products you can purchase to protect you.
For them to Well,